I want to get to this, Bonte. I didn't expect the U.S. to get to the Final Four. I didn't expect them to get to the title game. That's not going to happen. They've been stuck, though, for the last 24 years on the round of 16. The last time they advanced to the top 8 to the quarterfinals was beating Mexico in 2002, 2-0. And they've been stuck on it ever since. And I just thought, if it's not going to happen this year and in this iteration of the World Cup, in your backyard, to your point, in Seattle, 80 degrees, sunny, you got your best goal scorer back. His red card was suspended. Everything was going right for you leading into this game. And yes, Belgium is not looked at, in this World Cup anyways, as a powerhouse version of what they were years ago. I just didn't expect them to wet the bed like they did. I mean, I can't get that goalie freeze out of my head, Bonte. It looked like they had never played soccer before. As Messi chokes on that penalty kick, it still remains 1-0. Egypt.
Just, wow.
I'm just salty right now. Is his volume up? Is his volume up? Yeah, there you go. Make sure he's up. All right.
Am I volume up?
You're good. I didn't hear you chuckling, so I wanted to make sure we got him. All right.
No, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. When the game was over, I started kicking myself. I said, damn, I should have put $20,000.
Right.
I swear to God. I felt like it was a lock all day long. I didn't want to say anything, but I just thought we came out looking like arrogant. And look, FIFA, what I have learned even more so this World Cup, they have the mob. They're the mafia. They're the biggest mafia on the planet. They make calls that no other leagues can make, and they do things where it's penalties, red cards. FIFA's as corrupt as anything I've ever seen. And you know what? They don't hide it at all. They let you know that they're corrupt. They have that's the mafia. When they used to kill people and put people in, they let you know.
The referee in the England-Mexico game, I wanted to know his backstory. He was the Scott Foster of that night. I could not get over. I go, this guy's incredible. It's all about him.
The whole crew in the booth, the replay crew, were all from South America. So you're England, you play in Mexico City, and you got all South American. I mean, FIFA, at least they know they're corrupt. They let you know they're corrupt. That's mafia tactics right there. Straight up.
All right, let's go to the phone lines because people have been waiting a long time.
Tim in North Beach will kick off the deal. Timmy.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. A couple of comments, follow up on what you just said. I'm not surprised, not unlike Bonte. I'm not surprised at all that they lost. I'm kind of surprised that they actually beat Bosnia. A couple of things. One, I'm a huge Arsenal fan, Premier League. They won the Premier League this year. A lot of their players, 5 players actually, are on the England team. And one thing, and I think pointing to one of those 5 players, Bukayo Saka, he's been in the Arsenal Academy since he's been 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in at 7 years old, his parents weren't paying for him to be there. There is no club sport in all of America, if you're on a club team, that you're not paying buco bucks to play.
Well, if you are, let me stop you there. If you are 6'11" and you are 14 years old, you are not paying to play on your AAU team. Someone will foot that bill. And that happens in baseball, that happens in basketball, that happens in trust me, there are plenty of programs out there. My cousin played for Alpha Prime. He didn't pay $1. There are other people paying the way.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no 6'7" soccer player, so that's not really
no, but you get where I'm going with this, though.
I do. And secondly, until the current game that just started between Argentina and Egypt, if you looked at, and everybody has ESPN app, everyone has a cell phone, if you looked at the app, currently, as we all know because we're talking about it, the World Cup is the biggest soccer, it's the biggest game on the planet.
Yep.
And if you look at the ESPN app, the very first thing that's on the app at the very top of the page, they're talking about Boozer and Peterson in a summer league game. We just don't care in America about soccer.
Yep.
But we care about winning. We get our butts hurt when we lose to a team like Belgium, who's not going to be in the Final Four. They're not going to be in the final. They're not that good. but they've been playing since they've been crawling. That's the God's honest truth. They are born, and it's a cliche, they're born with a soccer ball in their bassinet.
Well, that's true. No, Tim, and I appreciate the call. We want to get to some other people here. But that's true for the American players, too. They were playing at a young level. Now, is it to the same level as those other players? Probably not. Now, some of them, and I've been talking about this with Shasky, Bonte, the dual citizen aspect of a lot of these American players, a lot of them grew up overseas. Either they were Army brats or one of their parents played overseas and they were born. Like Serginho Dest, who got subbed out and who looked awful yesterday in that first half, he grew up in the Netherlands. He didn't grow up here in the States. Anthony Robinson, Jedi Robinson, grew up in England. Like he has an English accent. So it's not like for like the same. And I get what he's saying. For the totality of the players growing up in these academies, that is true. Because a lot of our subs, we don't have the depth as a Belgium. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to have a Lukaku and De Bruyne coming off the bench? I understand that. So that's going to be tested for sure. So when our stars aren't shining, a la Christian Pulisic or a Dest or McKennie, we have no one else to turn to. And that's really what's disheartening about what took place yesterday is our stars didn't shine at all. And we just looked like we never played soccer before at times, quite frankly.
You're not wrong in what you're saying. The thing that I'm questioning out loud, how come in other sports, the Dominican, Venezuela, they produce tons of baseball players, and this is America is where the top sport is, right? The top league in that sport is. Japan has two of the highest paid players in baseball currently, right? And again, it's a very important sport. Baseball is huge there. We Americanized it after World War II during Reconstruction. I understand all that. How has Serbia produced so many great basketball players? I'm not saying the Serbian league isn't popular, but it's not the NBA. How has France created so many great basketball players the last couple of years, and it's not their best sport? So I hear everybody on, well, that's their best sport. But yet every other country is producing. Ireland has Rory McIlroy. Northern Ireland, soccer is their number one sport. Yet Rory is dominating golf. I don't know. I think it's more complicated than
Shasky,
I'll let you get it.
It's more complicated.
Shasky, you absolutely stole my thunder. Because
Okay.
when Tim was talking, and it was a lot of sour grapes last night from U.S. fans saying, forget it. We don't even care about soccer. We don't even.
No, that was coping.
The
That was
top
coping.
NBA players are all from out of the country.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo from Greece, right? By way of Africa. Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. Our top players are Wemby. So you kind of stole my thunder. These other countries have caught up to us in baseball, in basketball. Now, it hasn't quite happened in football, and I think that's going to be difficult because football is just not embraced, I don't think,
Agreed.
on that level. Although football's trying. They're trying to take their game international. I just don't think it's going to translate because out there in Europe, they're like, what's all this equipment?
Yeah.
It's so slow. We want constant movement. That's the thing with soccer. It just moves and grooves. Same thing with basketball when it's played right. But these other countries have caught up in baseball and basketball. And then when we lose in soccer, we're just like, we don't care. It's nothing. We don't. Then why are you carrying all the way up to the World Cup? Why are you going 70,000 chant USA and singing country roads? I don't even know if they play soccer in West Virginia. But it's just, we looked arrogant yesterday.
I agree.
And it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth with the way we're acting before the match and then after the match.
Well, let me take it a step further. I'm not saying that having more athletes play doesn't create overall great depth. But just because you're big and strong does not mean you're going to be good in another sport. Just because you're amazing in one doesn't mean you're going to. For example, I do not think that LeBron James, even if he started at golf from day one, would have been Tiger Woods. I just don't. Maybe he was born and gifted to love basketball. It worked out for him. Conversely, do I believe that guys like Steph Curry are just well-rounded? He'd be great at darts. He'd be great at billiards. Yeah, sure, there's guys like that. But I look at sports like football, and I've used this example all morning. Javon Kinlaw physically looks like he should be a Hall of Fame body, but yet does not play like one. You know what I mean? Aaron Donald fell to the 11th pick for a reason because he's kind of short and kind of stubby, and yet he's one of the greatest defensive linemen I've ever seen. Brock Purdy is not 6'4", 6'5", yet plays quarterback better than most guys who are prototypical size at that position. You still have to have a prerequisite desire to play the sport, skill, dedication, craft, and instincts. And I just hate it when we do this American thing. Well, if our best athletes decided to play soccer, we still might not be good enough.
Yeah, you need the technique. You need to love it. Yeah. And look, and it's spot on, Shasky, because you just don't know. You just don't know. LeBron James in football, I think he could have been a great football player. He was all state in Ohio.
I agree with that.
Tight end.
He may have been all, but
I agree.
But he chose to play hoops, and I think he made the right decision. Also, I just think you're a young kid in America, and you're on social media, and you're seeing what's popping in America. It's the basketball highlights. It's the football highlights. And you know right away, if you could crack into those leagues, you're going to get a big-time payday. Soccer, there may be a lot of work to get there. You know, not playing on a senior club right away, grinding your way through these low-level clubs. Like you look at all these guys, Haaland and Mo Salah, they start at low-level clubs. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's rare that you just get caught up to the senior club at a young age. Now you have exceptions, but you got to work your way up. And then all of a sudden the big payday happens. That's why I think a lot of kids don't play baseball or they quit baseball because they're like, do I really want to go through college baseball? Do I really want to go through the minor league system? All of a sudden, I'm playing in El Paso, Texas. Wait a minute, I'm playing in nowhere in Oklahoma in single A. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to go through that grind.
Do you think NIL is another factor in terms of like choosing sports? Or could be, I guess, moving forward, because Carter keeps suggesting that to me. And I'm like, well, because I was thinking about it this way. Let's say you're in 8th grade, right? And you do play soccer or whatever. When football season comes around, whether you've played football at any level or not, everyone's like, yeah, I'll go try out for the freshman team. There's 60 guys out there. If mom and dad let me, I'll go play that. Nobody's like, hey, it's freshman year. I've never played soccer. I'll go try out for the soccer team. Like there's a prerequisite level of skill you have to even consider that.
Yeah, you got to start that at a low. Like I didn't play soccer, and when I kicked the ball around with Chester, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so uncoordinated. I'm terrible. But I didn't play youth soccer. It wasn't appealing to me, and it just wasn't on television. I had no access to it at an early age. It just didn't. It was football, baseball, and basketball in my hood. That's what we played all the time. Golf clubs, what's that? I don't know anything about golf. And then you look at the golf courses or you look at the tournaments when you're a young kid and you see who's playing it. And it's like, well, I don't know if I fit in with that group. Sure. I just don't. So I look, man, it's going to take a long time and you got to really dedicate some of these kids to playing soccer. Do you really want to do this at a high level? What do your academies look like? I know they're trying to build academies and they're bringing in top players like the Beckhams of the world, the Henrys of the world, Zlatan, who we see on Fox. He came over to the U.S. and played. Messi's playing with Inter Miami. Beckham came over to the U.S. Yeah. You have those top dogs, those pioneers who've invested in American soccer, but you just need a little more. And look, it's going to take some time. Maybe we're a couple World Cups away. I think we're making progress, but we're a couple World Cups away from really being a factor, I believe. And we'll see. We need that transcendent superstar. There's no doubt.
And the only thing I would push back, and those names they're big names, no doubt. And Messi might be a little different because he's still at his peak and he's still at his prime, even though he just missed a penalty kick recently. Zlatan was over the hill. Beckham over the hill. They've had a lot of these guys, Luis Suarez. They couldn't cut it in international play anymore and overseas. So it almost became the MLS as a quote unquote, and it still has this label overseas, is the retirement league. If we start getting, and this is when I said, I'll know soccer is changing, at least at a club level here. If we start getting like Kylian Mbappe's in their prime and start handing over the big dough, but that's the problem, Bonte.
Well, that is the problem.
We're not going to get those guys over here unless we give them $200 million.
It's a great point. I mean, if you're growing up over there, why wouldn't you play in the Premier League? Yeah. Right? Why wouldn't you play in La Liga? And you got Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and you've got Barcelona FC. Why wouldn't you play in the German league, right? Where you got Bayern Munich and Dortmund and all those guys. Like even PSG, League One has grown out there in France. So and it's the environments too. Mm-hmm. The one thing I noticed when you look at these other countries, I was fortunate enough to go to 3 World Cup games at Levi's, Jordan and Algeria, and the chants and the nonstop singing and their energy. You're like, wow. Austria, wow. We don't have any chant. Like it's probably a minute thing, but What are we chanting? USA.
Yeah, we copied the
we don't
school.
have any of
we
that
copied the school
camaraderie.
USA one, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, they tried to do that at Levi's, and it was like, These other countries, man, they got the juice. So if you're one of those players coming over here to your prime, going to MLS, you're not going to do that. You're like, dude, I'm playing in front of 20,000 people. Yeah. Why not go to Liverpool and play Anfield? You know what I'm saying? Why not go to Man U? So I don't know, man. It may not ever be our sport. That's the thing. We may not ever be dominant in it.
Yeah, we'll clear the lines here in a second. It is funny because Robert Lewandowski, who a lot of people listening right now are like, who's that? Well, he's Poland's best player ever. He's a star over in the Bundesliga.
But he's 39 years old.
Exactly. He's 39. He was a star at Bayern Munich and then a star at Barcelona. Now he's going to play for the Chicago Fire. But as you said, he's 39. He realized he's going to he wants to go live in America and get have fun in Chicago. But no one's going to care. No one's going to care here because he's 39 years old. Don and Marin. What's up, Don?
What's up, Don?
You're on the roast with Bonte.
It's John in Marin.
Oh, hey, John.
Who the hell is John? What's up, man?
I'm in Sonoma now. But listen, Vontae Shafsky, so here's the thing. If you take a funnel, right? So I coach a bunch of sports, right, Marin? And, I grew up, I'm 60. We played football, basketball. We laughed at soccer growing up, right? We go out to PE and play soccer like, yeah, whatever. But if you look at the kids I grew up with here and coaching them, they all play soccer if it's a funnel. They all play soccer, all of them. The great football players, baseball. Then as the funnel comes down, they get older. What happens to the best athletes? They gravitate to football, baseball, basketball. Why is that? Because, there's no Tiger Woods in soccer. Who do we have here to look up to? That's kind of my comment. What do you think?
Great. No, I think it's a good point. I think that there's a social currency, especially for families and kids in other sports, and they want to look up to what they look up to. And the other part is, and I think this is an underrated part, like the house you live in, my dad didn't grow up with hockey. So I didn't really grow up with hockey.
No.
Now, had my dad grown up with hockey, I would be a hockey fan to a way higher degree. And so I think that it's, what are you surrounded by and what's being fostered within the home?
It's a great point. And, for me, and I talked about this earlier, Bonte with Joe, it was that 2010, really 2006 World Cup. I started really getting into it. Italy was in the same group as the United States, and it was fun. Brian McBride with the blood all over his face. That was kind of my first introduction. I was 13 then, right? And then 2010, Landon Donovan, the goal against Algeria in stoppage time. Incredible theater. One of the great goals you'll ever see and dramatic moments, right? And that was really what sold it for me. But again, my dad didn't really grow up I didn't watch soccer. Hell, my Uncle Phil, who is from England, when I would visit over there, he's a massive Man United fan. So I kind of got my first introduction there. But even then, my cousin, who was his son, he's like, yeah, Dad, can we put on Pokemon or something? We don't want to watch. Even then, it was it wasn't translating. So it's a good point. And you brought it up, Bonte, that next big player, if it could happen within the next 10, 15 years, our Erling Haaland, if you will, I do think that would go so much, and it would push so much forward on the men's side and just getting that type of larger-than-life figure to change the perception of the sport here. On the men's side, I want to say.
Somebody in the chat just brought up a name from the past, Freddie Adu.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Freddie
Sports
Adu.
Illustrated, 14 years old, and he was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
And it just flamed. Did he even factor for Team USA?
Not really.
Ever?
He played, but
you know what I'm saying?
Do anything.
They tried to make him that guy. Shasky, you brought up hockey. And we're going to find out about hockey in the Bay Area real soon. Now, I know fans get behind the Sharks.
Sure.
They do, especially when they're good. They sell out the SAP Center, and they get behind them or whatnot. But it is tough to catapult them above the Warriors, Giants, and Niners. How many hockey rinks are in the Bay Area? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We didn't grow up with snow. We don't have any snow. You know what I'm saying? So it's as much as we want to love hockey, are we going to ever put it above the NBA or Major League Baseball? Not in this town, not in this region. I'm sorry. Maybe in Chicago they'll have the Blackhawks for a second, or the Bruins in Boston, but they'll still have the Red Sox and the Patriots and the Celtics, right? The Flyers in Philadelphia. They'll never catapult the Eagles or the Sixers or the Phillies.
You got your daughter participating in lots of activities right now, and I just think about the kids I coach. the two sports that are really popular at about 11, 12, 13, let's say you don't think you're that good in a given sport. I see a lot of people gravitating toward lacrosse. I see a lot of kids now gravitating toward indoor boys volleyball. Like there are a lot of golf. There are a lot of other sports now. And I think
flag football
is huge with girls, but definitely with the kids. But like Bonte, the commitment for all year round basketball, all year round baseball, all year round soccer, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I think it's almost unnecessary. But then I look at these other sports where these other countries where people are like, well, that's all they do. Well, it's hard to argue because the success is there.
No, it's all they do. I mean, is baseball big in England?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Is baseball big in Germany?
I don't think so.
Is baseball big in France?
Bonte, the Italian team was like good in the World Baseball Classic, but it was a bunch of Italian Americans that didn't speak the language.
Right. We have way too many things going on in America. And you know what? I wouldn't want my kids to commit to just one thing.
No.
I like the fact that my daughter does a little ballet. She does a little dance. She does other things. Like I want my kids to be diverse in what they do. Don't commit to, like we grew up in San Francisco. I played everything.
That's
everything.
Yeah.
Like, and it, you know.
Well, when people would ask you, right? It was seasonal.
Well, that's funny you say that because I was just going to say, when people would ask, Joe, what's your favorite sport? To this day, it's like, it might be baseball, but ask me in the middle of football season, and I'll probably say football. I'll say the 49ers. Like, in the middle of a Warriors season, that's probably basketball. Like, what time of the year was it? You know what I mean? And was I outside playing that right then and there?
Yep, it's summertime. It was straight wiffle ball.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing baseball all summer long, watching Giants baseball on KTVU. Football season. It was all about the Niners, especially back in the late 80s and 90s when it was Super Bowl or bust. It was all about the Niners. And then the Warriors, look, they had to capture our attention. The Warriors were like the Sharks back in the day. Even though they had Run TMC for a couple years, then you had Mully, and you had the 1 year of Weber, Spreewell, and Mully. They really had to capture your attention because they weren't any good consistently. And it was like, well, we got the Niners. And you know what? The Giants just signed Barry Bonds. I think we're good here. Warriors, you have to really, you gotta make us love you. You know what I'm saying?
There was a time when like the Pro-Am at Kezar was as big as the Warriors.
Absolutely.
I'm not even joking.
Packed to the gills.
I'm not even joking.
Thank you. No, it was. Upper deck, lower deck. It was standing room only. J-Kids playing at the Pro-Am. The Warriors they were the, I don't even want to say the Sharks because it sounds disrespectful, but they were clearly third on the pecking order back in the day.